to me, every human can essentially in the next few days adopt some generic advice on what I call four pillars of health. So for me, the four pillars of health are nutrition, exercise, sleep, and Zen. And this is why there isn't one recommendation. If you are exercising like crazy, but you're eating like crap, you're not going to be healthy. If you're exercising like crazy and eating great, but you do not sleep and you're stressed constantly, you're not going to be healthy. And so these four pillars you have to straighten out. So you have to get your 7.5 hours of sleep. You have to be in a Zen state. You have to eat healthy and you have to exercise regularly. And I'll just briefly summarize those four. So I already summarized sleep, 7.5+ hours, no exceptions. Low glycemic response, meaning low blood sugar, that's definitely an important aspect because that's a huge risk factor for many things, many diseases. And I mean, if you just look at obesity being a high risk factor, and then you pull back and say, okay, what is wrong with high glycemic load? The more blood sugar you have, the more insulin is pumped. And the more insulin is pumped in blood, the more fat is stored in fat cells. So those are all like mechanistically related. So if you have fat, triglycerides, or any kind of fat in your blood, if you eat sugar at the same time and spike your insulin, that fat will be stored. And that'll cause obesity and metabolic disease, which
Mhm.
is then a risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and kidney disease, liver disease, all those things. So that's to me kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, you should minimize glucose spikes as much as you can. 7.5 hours, just get it.
That's simple. There's nothing else to
That's
it.
it. There's nothing else to it. Just no excuses, right? People have excuses. Don't have an excuse. Just sleep 7.5 hours. And then last but not least is exercise. And there's super strong evidence, both resistance training and cardio training are extremely important for actual clinical outcomes in terms of health span and longevity.
Mm.
And so to me, a simple recommendation is go up to an hour and a half per week of cardio and up to an hour and a half a week of resistance training. Get as close to that as you can. If you cannot do an hour and a half plus an hour and a half, but you can do 30 minutes of walking 3 times a week, 30 minutes of walking 3 times a week is infinitely better than not. Infinitely. So if
Mm.
that's all you can do it. It's going to have huge measurable benefits.